Hey, how have you been, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Supernatural. This time we're on season 14, episode 8, titled Byzantium. I think it's Byzantium, yeah. But yeah, Byzantium this time, and last episode was on human nature, and we saw the full effect and the full extent of what Jack was suffering with, which was a whole kind of bodily shutdown due to the lack of grace in his body. So it turns out, if you're born with grace, you kind of need that grace to keep on living, otherwise your body's going to start coughing up blood, and it's not the flu. It's not the flu or the common cold or anything like that. It's something far more deadly. But we saw that, and going to the hospital was where they actually revealed that his body was in systematic shutdown, and they kind of realized that no normal hospital had the equipment or the expertise to actually help him, so they decided to turn to a slightly more friendlier face and decided to call on Rowena, that badass witch, and she tried her best with Jack, despite what former struggles she had with his biological father. And she tried her best with him, and Cass visited a shaman, bought some only later revealed to be faulty grace. Yeah, still ill if you couldn't really hear it. But he bought some grace, which later turned out to be faulty and still didn't work on Jack, so he was, still worse off without that, even with that grace. So that happened, and I think through the midst of all that happening, Jack kind of came up with his own little, he kind of came to terms with himself dying, and kind of came up with his own little bucket list of stuff to actually do in the meantime, and it was all pretty much stuff he did with Dean. He learned how to drive, he went fishing, had a burger with Dean, and just a day with Dean, a day planned with Dean, which was really, really fun to see, and it really brought a new dynamic between them, and it shows how much they've grown together as well since the start of the previous season. So yeah, that happened, and we saw some of Nick continuing his little kind of one-man vengeance mission to avenge his family, and discovered that water break. I need some hydration juice. That's a bit better. Not really. But yeah, he was still on his one-man kind of vengeance mission to avenge his family, and he came across the police officer that reported the murder in, and it turns out that police officer had been possessed by a demon called Abraxas. And after he smashed that dude's skull in, he started kind of just, kind of praying, kind of talking into thin air, but in the empty it showed Lucifer was kind of being reconstructed, from black goo in the empty. He was being reconstructed, and his red eyes popped up again. So I am praying that Lucifer does not return, that he does not return from the hellhole that Dean plunged his ass back into. I'm hoping they don't resurrect him, because that's the last thing we need. Okay, we don't need that in any shape or form. We don't need that, and I don't want that either. So don't bring him back. No matter what happens, do not bring him back. That's all I ask. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got from the last episode. So episode 8, titled Byzantium. Let's go. There has to be something they can do. Where the fuck is Chuck? Where is God in all this shit? Can
you tell him?
Wait, what? He's not dead, is he?
He's gone.
Wait, no! No, come on, no, I was not ready for that! That is unfair. No, come on, you gotta give me more preparation time than that. I'm not fucking Batman, I can't just use 5 minutes and then be ready. Seriously, this is it.
Just let him be. He needs his space.
Yeah, Sam is understandably taking this harder than anyone right now. I'm actually struggling to believe this. This cannot be real.
Winchester. You know the drill.
I was trying to build a pyre.
A pyre? For what? What, for Jack? Like a memorial or something? I don't know what a pyre is, I'm sorry. So enthusiastic you broke the damn axe. Well, at least they can reminisce over alcohol. There is some silver lining to all this. I feel like most of this has to be Jensen, Dad, and Misha just goofing off. Like, not even them trying to be their characters, just them being them.
We did everything we could, right?
Is it a good idea to leave Dean alone with the alcohol? Is Jack in heaven?
Take it easy. You don't have to cram it all in at once. Right?
Jack's actually in heaven. I mean, I'm not surprised he's in heaven, but... So he's really dead! He's actually dead!
A real map.
Is there an electricity problem in heaven? Oh yeah, there is a power problem in heaven, isn't there? Yeah, because there aren't enough angels. Wait, what? What the fuck is that? What the fuck was that? Some tidal goo? Yeah, pretty hungover, huh? Told you it wasn't a good idea to leave him alone with the alcohol.
I think so.
So, can you reach?
Give her time, Samuel.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Oh,
Wait, what?
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Wait.
They don't decide who goes up or who goes down.
Then who does?
Anubis.
Anubis.
Guardian of the dead.
Some Egyptian
Ancient
mythology.
Egyptians believed that when you die, Anubis would weigh your heart on his
Oh, on the scale against a feather.
The
Yeah.
heart ceremony, right? But that wasn't. So we summoned him.
You can do that? You can summon a god?
Done it before.
Yeah, so much shit has happened on this show that it's you start thinking about what hasn't happened as opposed to what has happened.
Here, boy. Here, boy.
What happened to the doggy?
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt? Jack? How did you... What? Is he in someone else's heaven?
I'm your son.
That's Kelly! That's Kelly!
My... Jack. It's you.
Oh my god!
I understand. You were just a baby.
So this is Kelly's heaven! Oh my
know where you
god.
All of heaven's gates are open, even the ones that Metatron closed.
What could that mean?
I don't know, but it's not good.
Something got into heaven.
All right. Well, you go. We got Lily.
The goo stuff, that was from the was that from the empty?
The MT considers Jack its property. And who knows, maybe it's right.
Why?
He's half angel.
So what do we do?
Help me.
Yeah, but Jack never went to the empty in the first place though. He went straight to heaven.
No.
Surely that counts for more. Whoa, shit. Oh, that is not a good sign. She got venomed.
And Abacus.
You're expecting a scale and a feather.
Yeah.
May I?
Maybe he opted for something a little bit more modern. So how does this one work then? Oh, the more of whichever one has more, whichever side has more. Oh, there's more black. So she's going to hell.
Sorry.
No.
Damn.
I can't. I don't decide. You do. Each of you. Your individual choices. All tallied up at the precise moment of your death.
Damn. Reminds me of how it works in Lucifer.
Keep me here.
Father and son reunite. Oh yeah, Cass. It's Kelly again.
Hello, Castillo.
Kelly.
Aww. It's really good to see them two together again.
I'm so sorry. If you're alive,
Then it'll leave heaven.
Exactly.
Smart.
So you'd be saving lives.
Try again.
Oh shit! Oh, it's the empty. It's taken her, hasn't it? Oh, the empty's taken her. That is creepy as shit. Come on, Cass. You gotta figure this out.
Angels are mine.
enough.
Stop interrupting! Start paying attention.
Someone's having a temper tantrum, huh?
I'm taking him.
No, you're not. Not on my watch.
Taking you is worse than hell.
Not today.
I'm the one you want. I'm the one who woke you up.
That's true, but no, don't take anyone. Just go back and stay back.
You? I want you to go back to your normal life and forget about this and forget about me and then when you finally give yourself permission to be happy, and
Oh.
let the sun shine on your face,
You sadistic bitch!
when I'll come.
You sadistic
That's when I'll come to drive
bitch!
you to nothing.
No, don't you dare tear his heart out like that! Cass! No!
Go. Have a great life. I'll be waiting. I love you so much.
Can't take this, I can't handle this. She's gonna be waiting in heaven for him.
You ready?
No, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm not ready for anything at all. And she's gone.
Lily?
She gave up what was left. Now she's down below.
Care to try your luck again?
Did her fate change? Did saving a soul outweigh all of her times destroying souls? Angel souls? She can go to heaven! She can go to heaven!
I'm curious. Did you know what doing the spell would cost you?
She did, and she did it anyway. Just one
Say hello to your daughter for me.
one selfless act, and she got into heaven.
The Archangel Michael's location?
Whoa! You have that?
We have an idea.
An
The
idea?
word is, you've been looking for him.
An idea is good. We could really use an idea right now. Damn. Okay, thank you, Naomi.
We'll figure it out.
We'll find
We'll
them.
find her.
We'll
We
find
never
them
found her
all.
before.
We'll find it all, and we'll take the son of a bitch down.
She's gonna pay.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
Come on.
Great ending to an episode. Great ending to an episode. Okay, so, wow, just wow. I think they had me there in the second half, in the first half. They had me there in the first half. Not gonna lie. Yes, I did just quote the meme. So, anyway, but no word of a lie. They actually did have me in the first half of the episode. Like, I genuinely I mean. Yeah, I did genuinely believe that Jack was dead, and clinically speaking, and biblically speaking, he was. You know, he did die. His soul was sent to heaven, and he did have his own kind of heaven. And I think that's a really nice touch as well. His version of heaven is having a nice day out, like burger and drinks and that kind of stuff with Sam and Dean and Cass, just a day out with his family, just doing something normal with them, and you know, it summarizes his character perfectly as well. Like, he started off being this all-powerful being who had no idea what he was or who he was, and not knowing how to be normal or how to not stand out as as himself, and then in the end he actually learned how to blend in, but he also learned what it meant to have a family, and that is his new idea of a happy life, like just being with his family, which was a really, really nice kind of concept to further explore in this. We saw Kelly. That was a nice addition to this episode, because even if Jack isn't officially dead, like, you know, dead goodbye Jack dead, it's nice that, like, even for like a temporary death, they brought back his mother, because that is the one thing he would want. Like, if he did die, he would want to be able to see his mother again. And that is also a twist I didn't see coming, when like that little girl like playing fetch with a dog, and then Jack coming out from the bushes. I was confused as to like if he just like if he was trying to find his way out of heaven and he just randomly walked into someone else's kind of heaven, like as an accident. But then afterwards he actually, you know, you realize he went in there because he read it on the door. It's Kelly Klein's heaven. And then as soon as he actually does reveal who he is, like her aesthetic changes and she changes to present day Kelly as soon as she realizes it's her son. And I think with her, she had like very mixed emotions. Like, she was very, very happy to see him. Obviously, again, he's her son, but at the same time, he's her son, and he's barely even 20. He should not be dead at this point. He should have lived a full and happy life. And then that like reaction as well, like when she realizes he's dead, like it's too early for him. He needed to live on and actually, you know, do some good in the world and actually live a life before he went to heaven. But you know, she was protective as ever as his mother. She was as protective and loving and caring as ever. And she even, I thought as soon as Cass walked up, she was going to smack him in the face. But she knew better than that. She did know, like Jack did tell her, you know, Cass and Sam and Dean, they all tried their best to protect him while they could. And even when he was dead, they were trying to find a way to bring him back. And Cass was there actively helping out on the scene. So, you know, it makes sense that she would welcome him with open arms and an open heart, and actually show him some love as well. So that was cool. But that was a nice touch. And the empty. I think we saw it in the last episode making a comeback when Lucifer seemed to be like reconstructed ever so slightly with the red eyes and whatnot. So I mean, looking back, I think what I wanted to avoid saying was that Lucifer had actually escaped the empty and had found his way into heaven and was attacking all the angels and whatnot. But this was just the empty itself, like the cosmic entity that we met when Cass first woke up. That it was just that, and it's a sadistic bitch. It is a sadistic pile of gooey shit from the afterlife. Like that's literally all it is. Like the deal it made with Cass, like, oh yeah, no, I will take you, but not today, maybe not even tomorrow, but someday in the future I will take you, and I will take you when you allow it, when you think you're living a full and happy life full of joy and surrounded by the people you love and people who love you, and when you think the sun is shining upon you and you think it's a good day and it's a happy day, when you think that you're at your happiest and your most kind of prideful moment, then I will take you and drag you down into the empty. Like it wants the people it's already holding captive to suffer, and it wants the people it takes to suffer. It's just sadistic, and I hate characters like that. It's like, you know, like those are the characters I love. I enjoy watching die in TV shows and movies. A great example of which, from a show that I've recently been going through a binge watch of, is Game of Thrones. I got to Joffrey's death, and I have never cheered harder at a character's death than when I saw Joffrey choking to death on his own blood. But yeah, Game of Thrones has actually taken over my life. But anyway, but yeah, so Cass made a deal, and as per typical Winchester fashion, he's not telling Sam and Dean about it. Only him and Jack know. So and Jack has sworn to secrecy with Cass as well. So he's not going to tell Sam and Dean about it. So now I'm just picturing, like, you know, someday in the future when Cass and Dean are finally getting married, and then, you know, like he's about to say I do, but then the empty just jump scares him from behind and says like, surprise bitch, but you thought you'd seen the last of me, and just grabs him down before he can say I do to Dean. That if they pull that off, I'm suing the CW. If they pull some shit like that off, I'm suing the writers, I'm suing the CW, I'm suing just every living person in the universe. Like, if that shit happens, I will not be held responsible for my actions. But yeah, that is the deal he made with with the MT. And I think at this point, it's happened to pretty much all the characters now, all the main three. To Sam, Dean, and Jack, it's happened. I think it's Dean gave, like, the first time Sam died, being stabbed in the back by that dude in season 2. Dean made a deal with the Crossroads Demon to bring him back, and got like a year. Sam, when was the last time Sam made a deal? I think he had to have made a deal, right? I'm sure somewhere down the line he has made a deal, but yeah, my memory on the past season isn't the clearest. It's kind of foggy. Like, I know some stuff has happened, but I can't remember the exact, like, intricate details and whatnot. But I'm sure Sam has made a deal that's kind of changed the course of stuff down the line, and it's kind of been impactful. So Sam's probably made a deal, and now Cass has also come full circle and joined the made a deal and probably died for it club. So yeah, so now he just has to. So what does he just have to avoid being happy? Does he just have to become a lone wolf, like a nomadic angel, just moving from place to place, never getting too emotionally attached, and just being fully depressed with life, and just wanting to die? Like, you know, but then that would mean he suffers because he's never happy. Yeah, but then the empty wants him to suffer and not be happy. But would it mean that the empty wants them to be happy first, so that it can take the happiness away from them and then watch them suffer? Or I guess that would make more sense, because she is sadistic, so she's like, it likes to. I don't know how to refer to this thing, because we saw it in Duma's body, so I'm automatically referring to it as she. But I don't really think the empty. It's a dimensional, like it's a living dimensional kind of force. So I don't really think it has a gender at all. You know, it could be non-binary for all we know. But I think angels don't have a gender, do they? No, I don't think. I think angels have got to be like agender or non-binary. I think, yeah, right. Yeah, I think angels don't have like any specific. I mean, I think with the angels, like if the vessel fits, then the vessel fits. Like it's not like they don't actually care about the gender of the vessel at all. Like Hannah went from a woman's vessel to a man's vessel. Cass was a woman years and years ago, back in the Isham episode, back in Lily Sunder's original episode. Cass was in a female vessel. So yeah, I think they don't specifically identify in any vessel. It's just like, if you refer to them while they're in the vessel, you refer to them with the vessel's gender. So yeah, I think angels would probably be non-binary. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, the empty. Bit of a tangent. Being honest, the empty, I mean, I feel bad referring to it as it, and it's like the empty wants people to suffer, but I think the empty, like the way the empty works is, like obviously it wants you to be happy first, but then it wants to rip the joy away from you and then watch you suffer afterwards. So I think Cass just being miserable for the rest of his life would just kind of prevent him from going to the empty. From being taken by the empty until he dies the next time. So yeah, but that is not going to work well, because it's either going to be a case of Cass is forced to confess it to the Winchesters, or someone else will force Cass to confess it, or someone else will confess in Cass's place. But either way, the Winchesters will find out, as they always do, as this kind of thing always happens in this show. The Winchesters will find out before maybe long before Cass actually dies and ends up being taken by the empty, and they will try and find a way to prevent it from ever happening. So yeah, that happened. But that was that, and but all things considered, his deal did help save Heaven, and Naomi was more than grateful for that, and she actually gave up the kind of the most likely location on Earth as to where Michael was. So that then means that Michael has taken up another vessel. That has to mean it. Yeah, because he's no longer in Dean's body, or as far as we know. So then that means he has to have taken up another vessel. So would that vessel have been as strong as Dean's, or would that be like another temporary vessel? Like, he could be jumping from body to body then. Huh. But he is in an area on Earth, so Naomi has given that location up. So yeah, the hunt for Michael, as well as Dark Kaya, as well as Otherworld Kaya and her Michael slaying spear, is back on. So shit is yet again going to be hitting the fan in the next coming episodes. What else? But yeah, so this is something I actually really looked forward to talking about. The way Anubis actually explained the concept of getting into heaven. So what he said was humans are the ones that decide whether they get into heaven or hell, and it's all based on what they do. What they do is, you know, like all the choices and decisions they make, the actions they execute, is all tallied up at the end, and not typically through the feather versus their soul, but more like that little counter thing. So the white is obviously for heaven, the black is for hell. So whichever side has more counters in this case determines where they go. But the overall determining factor is the it is like what the humans actually do. So like if they make more good than bad choices, then they end up going to heaven. If they're a good person, they go to heaven. If they do commit more crimes and sins and shit, then they go to hell. But then I've binge watched all of Lucifer. I fucking loved that show. Just I'm one of the people hanging out here for season 4, just waiting for when Netflix drops that. I think Netflix was one that picked it up, yeah. But yeah, so that, like, in Lucifer, the way he constantly describes it is the fact that not only is it the person's choices that gets them into heaven or hell, like whatever actions they conduct in their lifetime, not only is it that, but also if the person does 1 or 2 or more guilty things in their life, then, you know, inevitably they end up feeling guilty over that. Even if they can live with it, even if they can somewhat move past it, they, like, deep down inside, they still have that guilt of having done it. If they killed someone, if they robbed someone, they did some sort of sin, they live with that guilt. And then when they die, that guilt and is what makes them believe that they end up going, is what makes them believe they're going to be going to hell, because they know they did something wrong. So then they end up going to hell. And I think one of my favourite lines, like, from Lucifer, is how he actually explains the concept of hell as well. It's like, the door's not locked. The door is open for anyone. Anyone can leave at any time. The only thing keeping people in hell is their own guilt. The fact that they believe, like, oh shit, I did all this bad stuff, I'm gonna go to hell. Like, that's the only thing keeping them. As soon as someone moves past their guilt and believes that, you know, like, what I did was wrong, but, you know, like as soon as they can let go of their guilt, then they can leave hell and presumably go into heaven. But in that show, like, you know, someone's, like, not just someone's sins, effectively someone's sins, but their guilt over having committed said sins would lead them to hell. But, you know, heaven's not locked. It's just people's guilt, like, keeping them in there. So with this, it's like, I mean, I don't know if it would work the same way in Supernatural, but with this, it's like, it does kind of open, like, it does leave that same concept open for suggestion. If Anubis says, you know, it's like, you know, God can't decide if you go to hell, Anubis can't decide, not even death can decide. It's about you and it's about what you do and who you become in your life. And, you know, if you commit that many sins and you end up feeling that kind of guilt, like, oh shit, I did all this stuff, I'm gonna go to hell, or, you know, I've been a good person in my life, I've helped people, I've protected people, I'm going to heaven, then that is what, like, determines the factor. And with Lily, that was reflected quite well, because, you know, she believed she was going to hell because she killed all those angels, so she knew heaven wouldn't exactly, again, she even said hell wouldn't exactly welcome her in with open arms. But her last act of life before death was giving up her own soul to help to help resurrect and help save another person. Like, she knew in the end she would die, and she knew, you know, everything I've done, I'm gonna end up going to hell, I'm gonna suffer there, I'm never gonna see my daughter again. So, but, you know, if someone else can be saved from the fate that I suffered, someone else can be, you know, saved from having lost a loved one, then I'll do it. Then I'll do it. As long as someone else doesn't have to suffer that fate, then I'll do it. Which is, again, it sounds near enough like the same concept described in Lucifer. But, you know, in the end, she did kind of it was an act of selflessness. So she did still believe she was going to hell, but she figured she was willing to risk it. She was willing to give her own life up, and in that sense, I think the guilt was still there, but because it was selfless, because she was willing to live with it, I think that still somewhat changed the scales. But yeah, again, it's just like these kinds of concepts, like it just makes me think, like how the kind of lore works across the shows, because I mean, if Lucifer and Supernatural crossed over, oh my god, my mind would be blown. Because Lucifer on there meeting Lucifer on here, that would have been something I'd love to see. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if Tom Ellis and Mark Pellegrino have actually met in real life, but if Lucifer from Lucifer and Lucifer from SPN actually met in a crossover, god damn it. Okay, but yeah, what else? That is pretty much it. But yeah, no, that kind of concept, I think they have kind of mentioned it here and there before, but they've never really gone in detail. It's usually just been snippets that you kind of have to pick up on, and kind of think about. But I love thinking about that kind of stuff, especially when it comes to the lore and TV shows. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have. So Jack dead and reborn, Kelly's heaven, MT invades heaven, and Cass made that deal, so that's going to come back to bite him in the ass. Concept of how people get into heaven or hell, and Lily goes straight to heaven so she can meet her daughter once more. So rest in peace to Lily Sunder, but I hope she can have a good afterlife with her daughter. And looking forward to seeing Team SPN or Team Winchester, Team Free Will. That's it, Team Free Will. There is an official one. Team Free Will regaining their strength and regrouping, and then kicking the holier than thou butt of Michael. But yeah, that is it. That was Supernatural season 14 episode 8, titled Byzantium. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on with the episode and what you think is coming up next for Team Free Will. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time.